Hi everyone. I had a request from somebody that wanted to know how to set up for a game of Hockey Blast. I think he was struggling with how to do it, so I thought I'd go through it step by step and just show you how I set it up. I'm going to use the old school board because he had mentioned a simple and a more advanced way, so I'm not sure what he's getting at. I'm assuming he's thinking this and this type of setup, so I'll go over both. So the first thing you do with the players, the way I play it, and everybody's going to play it a little bit differently. You don't have to play it like I do, and I'm more of a purist. So you're going to check the positions of all the players. So Dubois is the center, and the first thing you do is create your lines. And you're going to have a winger. You'll have left wing and a right wing. And we have a left winger here. So I'm going to put down Pionk as a defenseman. I'll put him here. Morrissey, you can see, is a defenseman. I'll put him here. Mark Scheifele is a center. So I'll just put him underneath my other center. Wheeler is a right winger. Perfetti is a left winger. Dylan is a defenseman. I'll put him here. DeMello is a defenseman. I'll put him here. Lowry is a center. Appleton is a right winger. Niederreiter is a winger, so I'm just going to put him on left wing here. Sandberg is a defenseman. Schmidt is a defenseman. And my fourth line, Stenlund, Barron. Now, I've got left wingers, and he's a center left winger. The wingers can interchange. Actually, all the forwards can interchange for the game. I don't think it really matters. So I've set up 4 lines. And what I will do when I play is I'll try and match guys together that I want to see. So the first thing I'll look at is on defense. I'll try and put the defenseman with the most amount of passing stars, such as Morrissey. He'll go in the slot. There's going to be a 4. So I'm going to place him on this board. 1, 2, 3. A 3 should be your centerman. 4 and a 5. And I kind of like to have the 4 D-man as the passing defenseman. And I also like to have 1 block in each of the different things. So if I take a look at these 2 defensemen, you can see DeMello has half a star or a momentum star. Dylan does not, so I'll put the better passer in 4. And same with Schmidt and Sandberg. I'll switch them around and have Schmidt here. I also like to have a square in each. That way, if there's a rebound, such as when you're taking a shot and you roll a 4, you're going to get a rebound. If you have a square, your team's going to pick it up. Now, I'll also, one thing I find kind of handy is if I have 2 dots for killing penalties, the circles, I'll put them on the same line, because when you're playing Hockey Blast and you roll for a face-off and you roll a 7, and a 7 is the most common roll when you roll 2d6s, I believe you have 6 out of 36 chances of rolling a 7, and is more than anything else. You will kill the penalty. You'll get a double lull. So if I take a look at the face-off chart, and it says number 7, won by the high face-off team, you need 2 dots. If you have the 2 dots, you're going to get a lull, which means you're going to kill the penalty. So a lot of times, if I have 2 dots, I may just play them together, just hoping to roll that 7 on the penalty kill. So, excuse my cold, by the way. So you can mix and match your lines any way you want. I like to set up all my power guys on one line. That way you have a better chance to score. I also like to have a lot of the down arrow, the triangles on one line. In this case, a lot of times I might do something like this just to get 3. And the 4th one is Morrissey. If I have one in defense, I may just do something like this. So now I do have 2 down arrows on the second line. And if they play with Morrissey, that would give me 3. So it just depends. And a lot of times I may just think when I'm watching a game, hey, what would Blake Wheeler look like if he played with Dubois and Ehlers? A lot of times too, whoever is the top face-off guy, I will put on that top line, because if you win a faceoff, it's key. You start with the puck. So for Winnipeg, this might be a better setup, because Wheeler's a 52 on faceoffs. I'm getting the 3 triangles and put either's on the next line. And a lot of times too, I'll put my shooter in the number 1 spot. So I would have Connor here. I probably moved Ehlers over. So the first thing you do is you set up your 4 lines. And so if I'm using this board, I would take the centers and I stack them. Take the right wingers and I will stack them. Left wingers and stack them. My right D and left D. So when you go to put them down on your hockey rink, the center is always in the 3 spot. I would put my best shooter in the 1 spot, simply because 1 seems to have more chances to shoot. 2 is more of an assist passer player, so Wheeler would fit in there a little bit better. My 4 is my best passing D-man, and my 5 would be my defensive D-man. So that's what it would look like when I'm playing on a board like this. And I think that's what you mentioned about in your note for the simple version. And then you mentioned a more advanced or a longer version. And I think what you're talking about is when you have the whole team put down on one particular board. So I'll just show you how to do that. The reason I don't do this one is because, and it's all total choice. I know there's lots of guys that like to rotate cards. I know Keith likes to rotate cards. It's relaxing and they just enjoy it. My preference is to use the other way. And I also have trays from Travis Janssen, which are really handy dandy. And the big advantage of when you play this way is that you're not distracted by other cards. Especially when the defenseman, you might have the forward 1 line out with defense 2. And if it's all on 1 spot in here and you roll a 4, you're looking for hit, you're only looking at 5 players. So it does make it a little bit easier. Now the second way I think the viewer was referring to is when you have them all out. And the setup is exactly the same for your lines. And placing them is exactly the same. The only difference is when you put them down, you would put them down. So there's my left winger, second left winger, third left winger, and fourth left winger. Here's Wheeler. First line, next line. And there's my centers, my passing D-man, which would be under the 4. And my defensive D-man, if I have any blocks, or the other partner, would go here. And when you're making up the lines, the other big thing to take a look at is just count the number of qualities, especially if you don't know the players. I know I just played a basketball game the other day with Brooklyn Nets, and somebody mentioned that I had Bridges and Durant on the same team, and they were traded for each other. I really don't follow basketball at all. I'll watch the playoffs, so I had no idea. And I didn't even see the traded or the acquired on the cards, and I should have. That was my fault. But there's people like that for hockey. So if you don't have a clue who any of these players are, and I know who they are just because I'm sort of fanatical about hockey, and I did some scouting in the Western Hockey League, so I kind of even maybe seen these kids when they're 14. If you don't know the players, simply count the qualities. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 3, he's got 4. So he's going to be a little better than this person here that only has, Stenlund only has 2 qualities. So if you want to figure out who's the better player, count qualities, count symbols, count stars. Whoever has the most amount of them is going to be the little better player. So Connor here has 1, 2, 3, 4 qualities. Niederreiter has 3. He's got I call it a forechecking triangle, but if he has a triangle, he's going to generate a shot. He's not going to. He's got 2 stars, 2 stars, 2 and 0, so he's clearly got the better card. So you can take a look at the card and see who the better player is. Same with the defenseman. Morrissey has 5 traits. Schmidt has 3. He's got stars and a triangle. Schmidt doesn't, so he's a better player. So the better players will go on line 1, line 2, line 3, and line 4. Now, if you're setting up for a game like this, You can use dice, you can use cubes, you can do whatever you want. I just have these figures from another hockey game, and I just put them here. So when I'm rolling the dice and I change lines, I simply move this down to here and this down to here. So if this is the setup you're asking about, is the advanced one, not really advanced, it just has all the players on the front. And whenever you're going to change lines, in the other setup I showed here, you would change each player individually, where here I just move this down, put this down. If you're going to skip lines, you just go by it and put it here. I'd skip that and go here. And I have a special sheet that I use where I just check off line skips at the bottom. You're allowed 2 per period, and you can double up on a shift. So I hope that helps. That's how you would set up one team. You do exactly the same for the other team. And when you're playing the game, if you roll something and it tells you to, let's see, if I take a look at number 6, if I roll that as zoom and somebody loses the puck, goes to the other team, you would rotate to the next line. So I simply, this way, I go like this. I find this quick, fast, easy. I can work both teams at the same time. So, yeah, it's just how I do it. I hope that answers your question. It's somebody that's trying to learn Hockey Blast. I know when I first tried playing Hockey Blast, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't like it. In fact, when I bought the game, I put it back in the box for about 2 weeks. And then my wife and I were on vacation, and she went for a spa treatment. And I said, okay, I'm going to force myself to learn this game. And I sat down and I read through the rules. I forced myself to play, and now I absolutely love it. And it's just, it was just different. I'd always played Stratomatic, and my mind was set in one particular way, and I couldn't think outside the box. And once I was able to, I really, really enjoyed the game. So just stick to it. Play it. Just don't play it once. Play it every day. Whenever I learn a new game, I like to play it every single day for 5 days, if I can. And come the 5th day, you start to understand how things work. It could be anything, war, board games. I've got, on my table right now, I have Star Wars Outer Rim, so I just bought that. And I forced myself to play it every single day for 5 days, and now it's quick, fast, easy. I understand it. And I retain it better because I play it every single day. So it's the same with Hockey Blast. Force yourself to play it. If you're struggling in the beginning, it's a little bit different because it involves qualities. It's not like APA. It's not like Face-Off. It's not like Stratomatic hockey. It's just different. So you have to keep an open mind and read the rules, follow along. It's a pretty simple game once you understand it. So hopefully the person that was asking about how to set up for Hockey Blast, I'm hoping that answers your question. If not, give me a shout and I can redo this, but hopefully it'll help. Talk to you later. Bye.